Welcome to the Bootstrap Mogul Podcast, where we bring you the grassroots tips, tricks, and stories in everything entrepreneurship, digital marketing, and personal development. I'm your host, Andres Holguin. Hey there, welcome back to another episode of the Bootstrap Mogul Podcast. And if you're tuning in for the first time, a very special welcome to you. I am so thrilled that you have decided to join us today because seriously, I am grinning from ear to ear because I know what's in store for you. And let me tell you, it is some good stuff. So I'm your host, Andres Holguin, and I am all about helping you turn your dreams into a reality. Okay, so let's get into it. For those of you who might be new here, let me give you the 411 on what the Bootstrap Mogul Podcast is all about. You see, this podcast is designed for people just like you, those who are starting a side hustle, or maybe you're at the helm of a 7-figure business. Either way, we've got you covered. Because here we're all about empowering you with the tools, strategies, and inspiration that you need to get your business off the ground and into the stratosphere. And hey, if you're juggling a full-time job while doing all of this, just like I do, I get it, and I want you to know you are my kind of people. Today, you are in for a treat. Have you ever felt like your business is the world's best-kept secret? Like you've got this amazing product or service, but for some reason, the world just isn't taking notice? Trust me, we have all been there. But here's the good news. Today, we're diving deep into early marketing strategies that can take your business from unnoticed to, well, unstoppable. I'm talking about choosing the right social media platforms that will give you the biggest bang for your buck, creating content that doesn't just sit there, but actually converts. And the secret sauce, word of mouth marketing, that's like rocket fuel for your brand. So buckle up, my friends, because this episode is going to be a game changer for you and your business. And don't worry if you don't have a team, tons of testimonials, or a huge ad budget, because what I'm going to share today is perfect for businesses at all levels. Whether you're a solo entrepreneur working from your dining room table or the CEO of a booming startup, this episode has something for everyone. So are you ready to take your business to the next level? Because I'm more than ready to help you get there. All right, so let's get this party started. Don't forget to grab a pen and paper or open up a new note on your phone because you will want to remember the golden nuggets we're about to dive into. Okay, my friends, now that we're all revved up from that intro, let's dive into the meat and potatoes of today's episode. Why early marketing is an absolute game changer for your business. You know, when you're starting a business, it's super easy to get caught up in the product development, the web design, the logistics. And while all of that is super important, if no one knows about your amazing product or service, what's the point, right? You could have the most fabulous product or service in the world, but if nobody sees it, you're just a tree falling in a forest with no one around. So let's nip that in the bud, shall we? Marketing, especially early marketing, is like planting the seeds for a bountiful harvest down the line. Now, you might not see immediate results, but those seeds will sprout into something extraordinary if you tend to them with love and, of course, some strategy. So who's ready for a story? Because I love a good story as it can teach us so much. Today's tale is about a startup that truly epitomizes why early marketing is essential. And this is a story about a company we all know and love, and one that I tend to talk to a lot about because they are really a good case study. And that is Airbnb. Oh yes, Brian Chesky and Joe Jabia were once just two guys who couldn't pay rent, so they turned their living room into a bed and breakfast for a design conference coming to San Francisco. But here's the kicker. Nobody knew they existed until they got really creative. They sold unique cereal boxes as a marketing gimmick during the 2008 U.S. presidential election. Obama O's and Captain McCain's, anyone? It sounds quirky, but this move grabbed the media's attention. Fast forward and they got initial investors and, well, the rest is history. Now, they didn't just wait for the world to notice them, they made the world notice them. Now, why did I share this story with you? Because here's the key takeaway, and honestly, it's so good, you might want to write this down. If you're not visible, you're not viable. Let that sink in for a moment. Now, your marketing efforts don't have to be huge or expensive to make an impact. They just need to be strategic, targeted, and yes, a little creative. Because when you show up in the right way in front of the right people, you create opportunities not just for sales, but also for connections, partnerships, and long-term growth. So let's make a pact right here, right now. Let's commit to stepping out of the shadows and into the spotlight. Your dream clients are out there just waiting to discover you. And when they do, you better be ready to wow them. Okay, so that wraps up our first segment. Stick around because you won't want to miss what we have coming up next. We're diving into how to choose the right social media platforms, and let me tell you, this is going to be an eye-opener. So, I hope you found our first segment eye-opening. If you're just now hopping in, don't worry, there's a plenty more gold where that came from. We've got our miners hats on, and we're going in deep. So, let's talk about the elephant in the room, social media. Ah, yes, the wonderful worlds where you can go from obscurity to virality overnight. But before you get starry-eyed, I want you to pump the brakes for just a second. You see, there are so many platforms out there: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok, Pinterest, YouTube, Threads, and the list goes on. And each one has its unique flair, kind of like your favorite coffee shop, right? Each one offers something a little different. So let's break it down, shall we? Facebook. It's great for an older demographic and oh so perfect for community building. Ever thought about creating a group? This is your spot. Instagram. If your brand is highly visual and you're targeting a younger crowd, Instagram is your playground. So get those filters ready. LinkedIn. For B2B businesses and professional networking. If your target audience wears a tie to work, you probably want to be here. Twitter or Threads. It's ideal for real-time updates and news. Plus, the Twitterverse is your oyster for viral trends and hashtags. And TikTok. Skews younger and is perfect if you're trying to reach the Gen Z crowd with fun, engaging short-term videos or short-form videos. But I also want to mention that there are so many other older generations that are really hitting up TikTok. So it's a really good place to also look into to reach a wider demographic than just Gen Z. Now, you might be thinking, Andres, should I be on all of these platforms? And my answer is no. Hold up. Here's my golden rule. It's not about being everywhere. It's about being where it matters. Yep, you heard that right. Your goal is not to conquer every social media platform known to humankind. It's to show up where your audience is already hanging out. So if your crowd is more like boardroom than TikTok dance, then spending hours choreographing a dance routine probably isn't the best use of your time. So how do you choose the right platforms for your business? Well, let's dig into some tips. First, research. All the time, first thing, research. Look at where your competitors or industry leaders are more active. Second, audience insights. Use platform analytics to see where your audience is most engaged. Third, content strengths. Align your platform choice with the type of content that you're good at creating. Are you a wordsmith? Twitter or Threads might be your jam. Are you a visual storyteller? Hello, Instagram. So trial and error. Sometimes you've just got to dip your toes in the water to find the perfect temperature. So don't be afraid to experiment. So let's cap this segment with our key takeaway. It's not about being everywhere. It's about being where it matters. So write it down, make it your mantra, whatever you need to do. Just remember that when it comes to social media, less can often be more, as long as it's the right less. Okay, so I told you we are diving deep today. And so stick around because coming up next, we're talking about content that doesn't just sit pretty, but actually gets to work, converting and bringing you the business that you deserve. So how did that feel? Like sipping on a warm latte while finding your social media sweet spot, I hope. Trust me, figuring out where you need to be in the social media landscape can free you from the overwhelm and get you focused on what really matters, connecting with your ideal clients and customers. Now, I can just feel your entrepreneurial spirit humming along with us. This episode is like a hearty business breakfast, isn't it? Pancakes, eggs, bacon, the whole shebang. So now that you're equipped with the knowledge of where to be in the social media space, let's chat about what you should be saying and sharing when you get there. Now, the power of content marketing cannot be overstated. It's the gas that fuels your marketing machine. But how do you go about creating content that does more than just take up digital space? You know what I'm talking about, content that really converts. Now let's get into the nitty gritty. I'm talking about the 3 C's: clarity, consistency, and connection. So first, clarity. Be super clear about what you offer and how it solves a problem for your audience. Because let's face it, no one's got time for guesswork. 2, consistency. Like going to the gym, the results are in the repetition. So show up consistently with your messaging and your posting schedule. And third, connection. It's all about connecting to your audience's needs, fears, desires, and yes, even their dreams. Make them feel something, and they are more likely to take action. Okay, so moving on to types of content. Here's the thing, there's no one-size-fits-all approach. So video, if you're comfortable on camera, videos are engaging and easily consumable. And even if you're not comfortable on camera, again, it's a work in progress, but there are so many ideas for how you can create video content without showing up on video itself. Blog posts, great for in-depth information and showcasing your expertise. And infographics, perfect for delivering a lot of info in an easily digestible format. And these can be turned into, static posts, even reels, tweets. You can break all of these into different types of content depending on that, social media platform. So what's a good piece of content without a compelling CTA or call to action? It's like making a delicious meal and forgetting the seasoning. Here's a quick tip. Always focus your CTA on the benefit to your audience. Don't just say click here. Say click here to find out how you can double your revenue in 30 days. Now, who's ready for another story? I sure am. Let's talk about a small skincare company that skyrocketed through savvy content marketing. Have you ever heard of Drunk Elephant? Tiffany Masterson, the founder, focused on educating her audience about the Suspicious 6, which are 6 common skincare ingredients that she claimed were at the root of all skin issues. She didn't just, push her products. She provided immense value by educating her audience. And guess what? Her company was acquired for a cool $845 million. Yup, almost $1 billion with a B. So here's our key takeaway for this segment. Great content doesn't just inform, it transforms. If your content can transform your audience in some way, whether that's solving a problem, answering a question, meeting a need, you're not just winning clicks, you're winning hearts and minds. So we are just really cruising through this episode, and I'm loving every minute. So stick around because you don't want to miss our next segment on word of mouth marketing, your secret weapon. Trust me, it's like the cherry on top of this marketing sundae that we are building. So here we are of today's jam-packed episode. If you've been with us since the beginning, give yourself a pat on the back. You're doing the work, investing in yourself, and I couldn't be more proud of you. Now, for those of us who just joined, make sure you go back and catch up on what you missed, because trust me, you will want to soak in all of this goodness. So let's talk about the most old school form of marketing that still reigns supreme today, word of mouth. Oh yes, the original social media, the OG. You might wonder, why is word of mouth so incredibly effective? It's simple, trust. People trust their friends, family, and even online reviews way more than any ad you can craft. Now, how do you create a customer experience so outstanding that people can't help but talk about it? Well, it's not just about having a great product or service. It's about delighting your customers every step of the way. From the moment they land on your website to the unboxing experience and after-sales support. Think handwritten thank you notes, surprise bonuses, or a stellar return policy. The goal here is to exceed expectations so dramatically that people can't wait to share their excitement with others. Now, what if you're just starting out and you don't have any testimonials or reviews yet? No worries, here's a quick strategy to get you going. Now, reach out to friends or family who have experienced your product or service. Ask them to share their honest thoughts in a review. Another angle, offer your product or service for free or at a discount to a select few in exchange for a detailed review. Because remember, people want social proof. Even 1 or 2 strong testimonials can significantly boost your credibility. Now, time for another quick tip. Use these reviews not just on your website, but incorporate them into your social media posts, email campaigns, and even your sales pages. Treat these golden nuggets of trust like confetti and sprinkle them everywhere. So, what's our takeaway from this treasure trove of a segment? Well, here it is. When your customers become your biggest fans, marketing becomes a whole lot easier. Boom. Let that marinate for a second. Why? Because every time someone raves about your product or service, they're doing the marketing for you. It's like having a team of brand ambassadors that you don't even have to pay. So what a ride it's been today. I hope you're walking away with a notebook full of ideas and an action plan that makes you feel invincible. Remember, the work you put into marketing now will set the stage for every business win down the road. And oh, what a beautiful road that will be. So there you have it, the lowdown on why word of mouth marketing is not just your secret weapon, but your trusty old friend. All right, my savvy business friends, we've come to that bittersweet moment, the end of another rockin' episode of the Bootstrap Mogul podcast. But hey, it's not a goodbye, it's more of a I'll see you later, because now the real fun starts. We are shifting gears from gathering insights to putting rubber to the road. Yep, it's action time. So let's do a quick recap. We started with the crucial necessity of early marketing. Remember, if you're not visible, you're not viable. Then we talked about choosing the right social media platform for your business. It's not about being everywhere, it's about being where it matters. Next up, creating content that converts. As we established, great content doesn't just inform, it transforms. And finally, the power of word of mouth marketing. When your customers become your biggest fans, marketing becomes a whole lot easier. So what can you start doing today? First, audit your social media. Identify which platform aligns with your target audience and start investing more time there. Second, create a content calendar. Plan out content that educates, entertains, or inspires your audience. Third, connect with your customers. Do something today that will wow them. Maybe a personalized thank you note or a surprise bonus. And fourth, ask for a review. If you haven't already, reach out to some satisfied customers and ask for testimonials. Or again, you can do that hack where either you ask friends or family, or you offer your product or service for free or at a heavily discounted rate in exchange for a review after they've used it. Now, my parting words for today are pretty simple, but oh so crucial. Don't just consume, execute. Ideas are only as good as the actions that follow them. Don't let this be another episode you listen to and forget. Make it the one that sparked a change. The one that made you say, enough planning, it's time to do. Well, can you believe it? We are at the tail end of yet another power-packed episode. If you've hung around until this point, high five. Seriously, give yourself a high five right now. I absolutely cherish our time together, and I know you're the kind of person who not only seeks wisdom, but acts on it. So thank you for being here, for investing in yourself, and for joining me on this ride that we call entrepreneurship. Now, if today's episode served you well, and I have a sneaky feeling it did, do me a teeny tiny favor. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. I promise you, you don't want to miss what's coming up. We've got some killer episodes in the pipeline that you'll not want to miss. Also, your reviews, they mean the world to me, and they help others find this podcast too. So if you could take just a minute to leave a glowing one, I'd be eternally grateful. And one more thing. If you had an aha moment or even an, oh, I really needed to hear that moment, share it. Take a screenshot of this episode, post on your Instagram stories, and tag me. I love hearing your takeaways, and it's a wonderful way to pay it forward and help your circle up their business's game as well. So remember, you're not in this alone. We're a community, a tribe, a collection of go-getters, and together we lift each other up. And the more you share, the bigger and more impactful our tribe becomes. So let's make some noise and shake things up in the entrepreneurial world together. With all that said, I bid you adieu for now, but not without one last hearty thank you. Your time is valuable, and I'm so honored you chose to spend some of it with me today. We'll meet again next week, same time, same place, for another episode that promises to bring you value-packed strategies and hopefully a little laugh or two. Now, until then, keep those ideas flowing and those fingers typing. You're just one action step away from turning that side hustle that you might have into your full-time passion, or taking that small business to the next level, becoming a 7-figure business. So take care, my friends, and never forget that the world needs what you have to offer. Alrighty, I'll see you next time.